Hello. Today we're gonna see how to create this kind of effect. This is the field of light of Bruce Monroe, Sensorio Pazzo, and you could see that there is full of small light like this will emit an entire field. So let's do it in Blender. We need first a terrain. So I will set 100 by 100 meters for the terrain. I will subdivide with the number of cuts, maybe something like this. Perfect. 50 number of cut. This is the emitter. Up, and I will add a displace modifier. Up. It could be a height map or something more specific if you have, but for the tutorial I just will choose cloud, something like that, and I will increase the strength of the displace to 10. Go here again, just set the shading to smooth and 0.6 or 0.6 could be good for the moment. Perfect. Now I need a particle, and I will create one, so just hide the plane for the moment. I will create a UV sphere. I will choose 12 segment by 6 ring. I think it's enough. I don't want this object is too high because I will use it thousands of time in the particle, and I just also reduce it something like this, and I will add a cylinder, maybe 12 vertices. Reduce it. I will scale it a bit to create something like that. Perfect. Like this. Great. And I think it's a bit more like this. Huh? Okay. I will create another UV sphere, but very low poly this time, just to use something like that. Perfect. And I will now join this object together and set the origin at 0, and after that in edit mode I can just create something like that. Perfect. And this is my particle. I will scale it a bit, set it to smooth, and apply rotation scale. Great. Now I need the particle emitter here. I had the particle system. I choose hair. I check advanced. I immediately go in render as object. I select the particle as my object. I increase the scale. 0.4. Could have a little bit of randomness, but not too many. Great. I will also check the rotation, and I would like to here. Okay. Render physics. good now. I want a global rotation. I will just add a little bit more something this, and I will randomize the. Oh, this is not the effect that I want. I want global seed. This is actually that I want, so I will just turn my initial particle in edit mode, and I will select 3D cursor. I place the 3D cursor on my selection, then I rotate it like that. Perfect. And it allows me to set the orientation axis in global Z and randomize a bit the rotation and the phase like this. I think it's good. I will now increase the number of particles to 500. Great. I will choose the source. It will be random here instead of jitter. Great, perfect. Now if I set to something like this, I have my field. Now I just would like to start with this one. Okay, now what I want to do is to hide the particle in the viewport. Yes. No, it doesn't work. No. I just viewport display to 0. Now we'll add a material to my terrain. Called it Emitter. Just to see what's happening. I will add a color texture, noise texture. Color ramp, converter color ramp, mapping and texture coordinate. This one and this one and this one. And I will choose objects and emitter. Yes, like this. Okay. And I have here my noise. I will choose something like that. Okay, it's not really important for this part of the exercise. I have a color here. I will choose some different kind of color. Yeah. It is, but I want probably just for the exercise. Something like that. Okay. Now if I had another object here and assign this material, you will see that now the texture fit on the object. It's because we base the UV and the projection of the texture according to this object. Okay, so now with this I will create a group. Okay, so I can normally press Ctrl G to create a group, and I will name this group light field, like this. I can disable this from the emitter and just add something like this. It's not important. Now I will go to the particle, and if I look at my particle here, I have two different material. Okay, I have plastic for basically the whole flower, and I will have light, and it will be this. Okay, so I assign this at light, and for this one now I can add an emissive. Okay, and I will just take my light field group and connect it to the color. And now for the plastic here, for the moment I just would like to add transparent for this one, and for the plastic I will set the blend mode to alpha blend, shadow mode to none. Okay, and when I go back on this object in the render and I view for display up, normally I have here, just would like to increase the size of this just to clearly see what is passing. Emitter and scale. Yeah, you could see that now I have the texture of my light field, okay, on it. This is the first step. So now I just will set the scale to 0.5. And set the particle light to maybe 3 or 4. Just add some light here. Okay. Great. Now I will add some point light. I have some point light here. Make something like this. Perfect. A custom distance of maybe 8 meters. Great. If you are working with cycle, I just will temporarily switch to cycle here. Okay, you could also check the use node for the light, for the emission of the light, and if you open the light field group and set the color here, you have a light here. It's pink, but if I duplicate it and set it here or here, it will follow the color of the light field group for the texture. So it's pretty cool, but for if you're staying with Eevee, you don't have access to light group node for the moment, so you only need to accord your light to the object. Okay. Yes. So now I have the light here. I have here the particle, and in the particle I have a plastic. Now it's transparent. Okay, but probably we would like to add something a bit more different. And for the plastic, where is it? Probably would like to have shadow. But the plastic doesn't look really nice now. So what I want to do, with the plastic, that I will okay. You could see, if I look at the picture here, that I have the lights I have the lights in the plastic here, and when I go to the ground, near the root of the flower, I have no light. So what I suggest here is to we'll make a color ramp. We use a gradient texture, and I will separate the axes here. Also would like to have a mapping and texture coordinate, and I will connect everything like this. I will use the y-axis color here. And I would like to use my particle in UV editing, and what I will do is to project from view. Whoop. Probably, yes, you project from view, turn it like that. Okay, normally it's good. So I will use the UV here, and what I do now is I have created a gradient on this object. So if I go to an emissive for the plastic and set something like that, you will see that now I've created a gradient coming from the roots and going from the top. Now I will use an emissive. I will connect the where is my, yes, the light field in the emissive. Okay, so I would like to have something. I have different no, I have something like this. Okay, but what I would like to do now is to combine a principled shader, mix shader. I will combine this with this, and for the moment I will use the layer weight with the facing at 0.1 to create something like this. So I have the lights now, okay, but only in the external part of the object. I can reduce the alpha blend of the principled here, okay, to maybe 0.2, and now it will be a bit strange to have all these roots with a lot of lights here. So what I suggest now is I will just delete this one, to create another mix shader and connect the I will just connect the principled again here, okay, and I will use the gradient to simulate to blend the lighten part of this object and then unlighted part of this object. So I will just add an invert color here because it's not, yes, like this. So you could control now the amounts of diffused light into the roots with the color ramp factor here. Great, so okay, so what I can do now is I can add bloom and intensity here. I will just reduce the light of the environment. I can increase. No, it's not what I'm not in the good one. Plastic lights here. I can increase the strength here, not too much, okay, but it also depends of the factor you have set in the bloom, okay. And another important thing is the density. So you can quickly just add here weight paint, and now I just will paint a bit this like that. Just a small part here, okay. Probably could use a subsurf here. Yes. Just will connect the particle emitter to the vertex group here to set the proper density. Yes, and for object great. And for things like roots in the ground or something like that, there's several methods, but what I do is I take a circle here. I will remove edge and faces. I will extrude this like that. I will subdivide it, and I will just, so it's very quick, just select this one, and I will twist everything like that, and randomize, oh, like this, okay. So as it's 0, and now I will just grab this and go here, grab there. Oh, I don't want to stay in the 3D cursor view, I just want to go in the viewpoint like that. For that, I use something like that. Object, set origin to geometry. You can go here, go there. I will extrude this. And what I can do is to add shrink wrap to the emitter. And we'll use what is this? Doesn't work properly. Project shrink wrap. Use project only on Z. I project the object like this, but I also would like an offset. Yeah, I don't need to have this extrusion. Offset like this. So you could easily now duplicate this one, this one, this one. Once it's done, you can apply the modifier. If you would like to merge all of them, you could easily do it. After that, you just extrude it a bit, then add solidify to the object, do something like this, and after that subdivide everything to do something like that. After that, for the circle, also could have some plastic effects or only simple materials to no, I just want to create a simple principled with roughness, this base color, and for the light you could just set something smaller. This is with this kind of tricks that I've created. I'll just save this in the with a bit more works. Okay, so I don't have the other scene, so I will link the scene in the description of this video with the texture and some additional tips for the lighting part. So hope this tutorial is helpful for you, especially the part with the particle and the node tips for the light and for the plastic with the light fill group. Don't hesitate to let me a comment in the video. Bye.